Hello and good morning from Andy sitting in a garden near Swindon. I'm coming to you today on a cloudy morning, and yet I've been reflecting over the past 16 weeks and lockdown about what COVID has meant. And I've been struck by the way that we've all taken cover or refuge in all sorts of things. Maybe it's to avoid catching the virus because we're shielding. Maybe it's because we're afraid. But through it all, this word refuge has come to mean quite a lot to me. A very good friend of mine in the church community reminded me about refuge about 6 weeks ago, and this is the area that I want to talk about and share with you today. The word refuge as a noun means a place or situation providing safety or shelter. And I'm going to now go on a walk around my garden, and I want to show you just something of what that has meant to me. In the garden where I've had the chance to sit during lockdown, I've been looking for places of refuge. And as I look in this hedge ahead of me, I know that there are birds in there who are nesting and have had their young, and they've been hiding under the shelter of the trees and the leaves. And also, as we go towards the pond, we've had in our pond loads of tadpoles and other living organisms that have been hiding under the weeds, trying to avoid the buzzy things that have been around, trying to eat them in our garden. And finally, I want to take you over to another place of refuge that I found, and it's this weeping willow beech tree. And in here, if we just go underneath, you'll see there are other places of refuge. Birds will hide in the canopy. We hide under here when there's a shadow so that we can stay out of the sun and the very strong sun's rays we've had recently. So those are my places of refuge. And now that I'm sitting back at a chair and able to look into the camera, I would like to just explore this question of refuge a little bit more. You'll find people in the world are looking for refuge, and I'm struck by the fact that the Bible for me shows clearly that God can be our refuge at times of stress, anxiety and worry. I just wanted to tell you about a few of those verses that are to be found in the book of Psalms. These are a collection of sayings of King David and a few from Solomon, many years before Jesus was born. Psalm 9, verse 9 reads, "The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble." Now, interestingly, I guess that's how we've been feeling sometimes, oppressed, but God is there to help us. Let's just look at Psalm 34 and verse 8. It says, "Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him." Psalm 57 verse 1 reads, "Have mercy on me, my God. Have mercy on me. In you I take refuge. I will take refuge in the shadows of your wings until the disaster has passed." Now, for me, the theme of rescue and sheltering under the hand of God and his saving wings is so important. It's a bit like the young hatching birds under the wings of their parents in the garden. In that last verse, it says shelter under God until the disaster has passed. So I would encourage you, when you're in a garden or in your own patch of green space, looking out to see what there is there, think about the places, the wildlife that take refuge, and think about the place that you can take refuge in God at the moment. When I've been in my garden and I've reflected and thought about this, and to be honest, I've found it very encouraging and upbuilding. So, from a garden in Swindon, near you, this is Andy signing off, and thank you so much for listening.